we are going to have talent who we like, who has to lose to elevate a story. It just has to happen. Our favourites had to lose at one point, Stone Cold, The Rock, people to elevate the next character or elevate the wrestling into another era. It has to happen. Doesn't mean that they are jobbers, and I feel like we're being very disrespectful to the art of a loss and why losing is not always a bad thing in wrestling. There's a common misconception in wrestling that losing is a death sentence for a wrestler's career. But if you have a good gimmick and if you are strong on promos and you have a good wrestling moveset and you're consistent, a loss shouldn't be that detrimental to your career. What's really annoying with the losses is 50-50 booking, because you don't know who to root for and there's no jeopardy. And sometimes the wrestler needs to pull out a surprise from time to time. But this is the thing. People are so concerned of losing and what the internet is saying. I'm a bit hypocrite because I'm part of the internet and I'm giving my opinion and my analysis. But, when losing can benefit a wrestler, for instance, building a strong opponent, you need to elevate a rising star, to elevate their status, to make credible talent. And sometimes, someone has to do the job. You have to protect the champion dominance for a storyline. They can solidify their position as a top dog. Character development. You have to overcome adversity. A well-timed loss can show a wrestler's resilience and determination. We love a combat story, don't we? We love a redemption story. And also a turning point. Losing can lead to a character's transformation, even a darker or heroic figure. We can get them behind them even more. Remember when Cody lost WrestleMania, was it 39 of him? It helped him in WrestleMania 40, didn't it? We need fresh feuds. Jesus Christ, we need fresh feuds. We just had remakes and repeats of the same feuds for the next since WrestleMania. A loss can spark a new rivalry, lead to exciting matches and storylines, and obviously the redemption arc. So this is the point of booking. If people lose, that's fine. But we should respect the loss, respect the wrestler, and not just see them as jobbers, right? Or expect them to be fired. Wrestlers have to rest different people. Someone has to lose. And it's like I can explain it. It's like a pardon system. So I guess West Indian people might know what a pardoner is. It's like this kind of credit system where everyone puts every month X amount of money. If 10 people put £100, I'm in England, £100 each month, 10 times 10 is 1,000. So it goes every month, one person will get 1,000. So that builds that trust. But eventually, when it's your turn, in the analogy, when it's your turn to get your win, people, the wrestling distribution system should support your win. You might not win on month 3. You might not get your £1,000 at month 2 of the pardoner. You probably get it month 10. So you have to be patient to build different stars, put them in rotation. I think with my estimation on each brand, you can build 4-5 stars each year, have dominant runs, dominant titles, build them, and you can rotate. So we know eventually that person has risen in their stock and they can elevate and they can help out other wrestlers when other wrestlers rise. It's just a circle of life. Jobbing or losing, it has to be done. So I'm just giving some example where a loss can benefit both wrestlers. So remember Daniel Bryan and The Authority? He had that underdog, had multiple losses by the top Authority stars, and people was moaning, oh my god. I remember even Mick Foley was texting Vince like, it shouldn't happen, it's atrocious. But eventually it paid off, didn't it? When he won at WrestleMania, right? And it just elevated the Authority's heel status when Daniel Bryan was losing until the final payoff at WrestleMania. Remember Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker? Breaking the Undertaker streak was monumental, because that's how I got back into wrestling, because I left wrestling for ages. I'm like, when someone says, the streak is broken, what do you mean streak? And that got me in. So I went from casual to hardcore because of that loss. and that's very important. So the Undertaker's loss added a layer of vulnerability to Undertaker's character and made his subsequent victories more impressive. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins has to lose. Seth Rollins is an MVP. Can't even say MVP. A good ally. He was always helping people to elevate and giving back. I noticed that, especially WrestleMania. But anyway, that's another story. But Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. His loss to Roman Reigns in WrestleMania 31. While it was disappointing for fans, it established Reigns as the new face of WWE. And it solidifies Reigns' position as a top star and set the stage for his long-term dominance. If it wasn't for Seth Rollins losing or jobbing out, whatever you want to call it, we wouldn't get the Bloodline story today. Come on now, we've got to make some sacrifices in wrestling. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch, her loss to Charlotte Flair in WrestleMania 32 allows Charlotte to solidify her position as the top female star and just elevate its status. So we always have to think about the long term. I'll even give you more. Let's use Edge and Randy Orton. So Edge's loss to Randy Orton in WrestleMania 27 led to a really cool feud and a memorable Hell in a Cell match. That victory solidified Orton's position as a top heel and revitalised his career. And one, I know I'm using top stars, but I'm just trying to show you the legacy. The Rock versus John Cena. His losses to John Cena, The Rock, at WrestleMania 29 and 28 and 29 helped elevate Cena's status at the top of WWE. So remember, a well-executed loss can be a powerful tool for storytelling and character development. It's all about how the loss is booked and how does it contribute to the overall narrative. Now, that's what we need to do. So that's why I think, is it always the wrestling fans' fault? And I'm very sensitive, like calling everyone jobber. But they don't think of long term, like people have to lose for the overall thing. But the thing is, just as the win should count, the loss should count. And that's what the writers and WWE creative should be looking at. Look at the loss has to count and the win has to count. So everybody wins. Come on, Slam Squad, am I right or am I right? So please let me know in your comments about how people just willy-nilly using the jobber and being derogatory, and thinking about when has good losses benefited wrestlers and move the wrestling culture forward. Let me know. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.